carry out their daily needs, daily work, just as lifting the object, lifting, switching on, switching off the important gadgets, as well as to call and to communicate with the external environment. So the optimized medical rehabilitation system has are all the objectives of this research work. So what is HAM? As I said, the Human Adaptive Mechatronic System, is a combination of different various engineering fields. There is the electrical and electronics engineering, and combined with mechanical engineering and the control engineering as well. The mechatronics, the mechatronics is nothing but the combination of mechanical and electronics. That integrates various fields of engineering, adaptive in nature, ease of doing work. The Human Adaptive Mechatronic System. The Human Adaptive Mechatronic System is a man-machine interface system with the help of some neuromuscular controller or some other processor are used. The system having the function of bearing the burden of user. That is, the Human Adaptive Mechatronic System can use in two distinct ways. That is, in medical field for therapy, as well at the same time the HAM, that is a Human Adaptive Mechatronic System, is used in some other places. For example, in military purpose, military personnel. In hard terrain, the military man, that is the army man, feel uncomfortable to lift their own load for a particular distance in hard terrains like mountains. So that may create some strain on their back, and that may injure the army person. So they can't able to sustain in their work. The medical injury will make them to permanently severely affect them, and in a prolonged condition. So we have to address that issues. The Human Adaptive Mechatronics System can able to address both the socio-economic issues. The one side is on the medical side, and another one is the social side of that skilled laborers as well as the army personnel. And most of the cases in United States, in some industries have employed the exoskeleton suits. The exoskeleton suits are the Human Adaptive Mechatronic System for their labors that helps the labor to lift the weight from the warehouse to the production area. That reliably increases the production of their companies. That we will discuss in the later slide. The human system, the HAM system adapts itself to the capability of the user and assists the performance of the users effectively. And similarly, the sensors and signal conditioners are used. The sensors used in the HAM are mostly the EMG sensor, that is the electromyogram signal sensor. That is a few electrodes are placed over the muscle, that is skin, and that collects a muscle signal, and that will be given into the processor signal conditioner. The signal conditioners which we have, excuse me. Hello. Please, so once again, வாங்க சார் வாங்க. The design specification of interface protocol include the extensibility features to assure the additional external components to be connected and interpolate with the system. The layout of HAM, the layout of Human Adaptive Mechatronics is as given. That is, HAM system is a technology which encompasses the various engineering field, that is electrical and electronics engineering, cybernetics engineering, mechanical engineering. So the combination of these engineering fields gives us the rehabilitation therapy tools. tools and devices. That is the biomedical engineering. The biomedical engineering does not depend on this. The biomedical engineering mainly depends on the biological characteristics of the bacteria and other living beings. The battery contamination and some other corrosion has been taken place. So this rehabilitation engineering mainly focuses on medical field, and then the research, various researches are going on in the rehabilitation therapy and the clinical trial, and then the manufacturing and sale will come and help restore the muscle function of the disabled elderly person. As you're seeing in this image, earlier the disabled person or the elderly person can able to sit on the wheelchair and he can't able to stand or walk by his own. He definitely need a nursing assistant in order to lift him from the wheelchair to the bed or to bed to the wheelchair, or in order to make him stand to achieve some things. So it is a hectic job for the caretaker and the nursing assistant. They can't able to lift the huge weight, and it will there's a possibility of falling. They may fall and that may hit in other conditions. So the HAM, the human adaptive mechatronic system, gives the ease of carrying the patients from the bed to the chair and the wheelchair to the bed. The nurses in the hospitals are given with the exoskeleton chute, so they can able to lift the patient easily. The weight can be stabilized and distributed evenly on the exosuit as well as the nurses. So the exosuit is the final thing. Here we can able to know the exosuit. The exosuit makes the disabled person or elderly person to do his work individually, and it eliminates the dependability on others for doing some work. So the difference between the prosthetics, bionics, exos, and cyber. You may hear about these different terms in medical field. That is mostly on rehabilitation therapy. Now, what is prosthetics? The prosthetics are nothing but that artificial arm, artificial organs. For example, artificial limb and artificial leg are all the examples for orthosis. Orthosis are the examples for prosthetics. And the bionics have some characteristics of living system. The bionics is the important thing. The bionics have some characteristics. The difference between the prosthetic and bionics is the prosthetic is a passive device, whereas the bionics is an active device. With the help of the battery power, the bionics can able to adapt itself to a particular human being's neuron signal. That is the bionic hand, bionic arm, or bionic lower limb can able to adapt. That is, bionics are used where the organs are missing. That is a missing organ. For example, when we lost their hand or finger in accidents or something, we can able to replace their arms with the help of the bionics. So the bionics and cybernetics are the two sides of the same field, same coin. Yeah. So bionics aims in finding new ideas for useful artificial machines and systems, whereas the cybernetics to seek the explanation of living beings. That means the cybernetics tends to imitate the living beings. That is, the sense, think, and act as a cybernetic loop. It first senses the quantity being measured, and it analyzes that signals are measured, and that it will be act according to the programmed algorithm. So the bionics is the technique of replacing a limb or body part by artificial limb, electronically or mechanically powered. The prosthetic is an artificial device used to replace a missing body parts such as limb, tooth, eye, and heart valve. As I said, the difference between the orthosis, that is the prosthetics, and bionics is, whereas the prosthetics are the passive devices and the bionics are active devices. The exoskeletons, where it comes, the exoskeletons and bionics. The exoskeleton is a wearable mechatronics device which is used for physically disabled person as well as the normal person. So unless the bionics are only used for, or can be used by only the disabled person with some amputee. So the exoskeleton augments the performance of an able-bodied wearer as well. And Cyborg, what is Cyborg? The Cyborg is a functional combination of organic and machine parts. The organic as well as the machine part is named as a cyborg. Cyborg is nothing but the cybernetic organism. The abbreviation for cyborg is the cybernetic organism, whereas the term orthosis is typically used to describe a device that is used to assist a person with a limb pathology. The difference between the assistive technology and adaptive technology is shown in this slide, and we used to confuse between the assistive system and adaptive system. The assistive system and adaptive systems are two distinct manners. Whereas the adaptive technology is a subcategory of assistive technology. The assistive technology, we know the wheelchair, which assists the person who has disabled in locomotion, is assistive technology. And crutches is a similar thing, that is a walking stick, crutches, and pacemaker, hearing aids. These are all the assistive technology. And the adaptive technology are cochlear implants, bionic arm, exosuites, and augmentative and assistive communication. So the cochlear, what is the difference between the assistive technology and adaptive technology? I have to state this with an example. That is, take that the hearing aid and cochlear implants. The difference between the hearing aid and the cochlear implant is the hearing aid just assists the human by simply amplifying the sound signal from the surrounding and then gives into the eardrum. That's the duty of the hearing aid. But in case of the cochlear implant, what it does is it simply bypasses the fault portion of the ear and it directly gives the signal, amplified signal, into the cochlear nerve of the ear, which is responsible for the hearing. So the cochlear implants has one transmitter to be placed inside the skin of the ear and the receiver as well. So the hearing aid is nothing but a simple thing, simply like a loudspeaker, amplifies the sound and given into the eardrum. But in the cochlear implant is the different thing. It just bypasses the fault organ and it directly feeds the signal directly to the nerve. The bionic arm, as I said, the bionic arm is an adaptive system which adapts itself to the neuro signal of the particular user. The neuro signals can be captured with the help of the EEG sensors, the EEG, the electroencephalogram. That electrodes will be placed and the neuron signal will be collected with the help of this bionic arm signal sensors, and that will be processed and it will be act accordingly. The main disadvantage in bionic arm is the weight as well as the battery power. Maximum the battery can sustain about 6 to 7 hours of power, and the bionic arms are not waterproof, rather than they are splash proof. A splash of water can be able to resist it, but it is not waterproof. So the bionic arm definitely need an nursing assistant has to take care of connecting, fitting the bionic arm with the patient who is in disability. And the exosuites are adaptive technology, which can be used by both the disabled as well as the normal person as well. As I said, the normal person, in case of the skilled labor who is lifting some product or weight from the warehouse to the production area, he can't be able to continuously work throughout the day. It may subject to some back strain and stress, and he may realize some fatigue. So in order to safeguard this back strain, the exosuites are helpful for him. And augmentative and assistive communication, we know that AAC, the augmentative and assistive communication, is nothing but the SIFT keyboard we are using in our mobile phones, smartphones as well, where with the text to speech and speech to text are possible. Our famous scientist named that theoretical physicist Stephen Hawking uses this technology to communicate to the outer world. So the prosthetic limb and the Parkinson's disease glove. This is the adaptive technology, and the prosthetic limb is the passive device, as I said earlier. The therapies, we know what the therapies are: the rehabilitation therapy and occupational therapy. Rehabilitation therapy is care that can help you to get back, keep, or improve the ability that you need for daily life. And it also aims at eliminating the environmental barriers to independence and participation in daily activities. The occupational therapy can help to perform daily routines of the patient without much support from the caretaker or the nursing assistant. So in guide rehabilitation, a person with paraplegia, a powered exoskeleton is with hybrid muscle synergy controller can able to lift that patient, and it makes that paraplegia patient to walk and to achieve his goal. For these are all the best rehabilitation technique adapted for the patient who are affected from stroke. So the rehabilitation therapy, that image A represents that rehabilitation therapy with the help of the exoskeleton, where the image B represents the rehabilitation therapy without the exoskeleton. That is a traditional method where the patient is lifted with the help of the body weight support, and the mass of the body, maximum mass of the body will be lifted in the body weight support, and the foot will be rest on a strap or a treadmill. By doing this, we can't able to make the patient to focus on the step angle and as well as the step length. That is the step length between the angle between the two legs, uniformity, as well as we can't able to practice that patient in different terrains as well. The sagittal plane is different. It is difficult in achieving this rehabilitation therapy with the help of this traditional method. So we are going for that next, the advanced method called using the exoskeleton. The exoskeleton, what it does is, the exoskeleton has numerous sensors which senses the muscle activities as well as the joint angle pressure, the acceleration of muscle, the joint angles, torque, as well as the speed of that limb will be measured, and that will be feedback into the closed loop. That's exoskeleton itself, the process that one, and that adapt the capability, how the patient can able to, what is the capacity of the patient to move his leg, and how far he can able to lift his foot from the floor. So these are all the things, the advantages of exoskeleton, using exoskeleton. By using exoskeleton, the person undergoes the rehabilitation therapy using the exoskeleton, has the quick recovering ratio while comparing to the traditional method. So these are all the sample upper limb movements of the hand. The hand, you can see that the electrodes are placed over the skin to collect the EMG signal from the hand movements, the muscle movements. So the rehabilitation therapy uses the assistive devices, and it needs the training, regular training, and the user gives the context. So this is the exoskeleton based rehabilitation therapy. Yeah, you can see the exoskeleton is fitted on the lower limb of the patient, and the mass of the body is carried by the help of that main object controller, which is connected at the back of that patient, which aids the patient to move more independently and increase the capability of the patient to regain his motion. And this is the CEO of Human Motion Mechatronics Device, CEO and co-founder, who is suffering from paraplegia. Users, yeah, you can see this one. With the help of that exoskeleton, the exoskeleton is the external skeleton shoot which supports the body mass in lifting the body as well as to move the body from one point to another without the support or help of any human caretakers. And the cybernetics engineering. The cybernetics is a branch of science which deals with the control and communication between the man and the machine. Man and a machine. The man, most probably the living beings. The mathematical techniques and scientific methods designed for studying control and communication between the system. The artificial intelligence with a set of some algorithms, that is a supervisor vector neural network, and some set of algorithms are used to make the cybernetics engineering play a pivotal role in assisting the rehabilitation therapy in the medical field. So the field has an impact over the nature of intelligence, decision making, and goal orientation. Cybernetics redefined the machine intelligence theory by interacting with the real world and gains new data available to adapt itself on performance. Here, the ham system can be integrated or interface with the cybernetics with the help of the cybernetic loop. As I said, the cybernetic loop is shown in the diagram. The cybernetic loop, which senses the input quantities, the physical quantities or change in physical quantities can be sensed with the help of the sensor, and the sensors data will be analyzed. That is thinking similar to that of mankind, and it will act accordingly, similar to that of human. In our human body, the eyes are the sensor. The eyes see, once we want to lift our mobile phone from the table, the eye are the sensor which locate the mobile phone on the table where it was, and it think how to lift that, and in which possible way, what are the possible way to lift that cell phone from the table. And the hand is the end effector, the actuators. It act accordingly with the help of the command signal received from the sensor, and it lifts the cell phone from the table. The cybernetic loop unifies all physiological computing systems. It communicates between physical and living beings within the closed loop. The sensory data are processed in the signal conditioners and collected and analyzed and translation phases, recognition of which depends on the group of physiological computing system. So the most commonly used sensory signals are EMG sensor signal, electromyogram signals. So the muscle activity, the amplitude of muscle voltage, due to the variation of contraction, flexion, and extraction of muscle, different in voltage level will be generated in the few millivolt level. The generated voltage will be in millivolts. That will be detected with the help of the electrodes placed over the skin, and that skin collects the amount of signals from that particular muscle, and that will be processed in the signal conditioner, and that will be given to the controller. This is the work of the cybernetic loop. So the next one, yeah. The electromyogram signal can be connected with the help of this electrode. The electrode is the representative purpose only. And the muscle activity is monitored with the help of the EMG signal. Both the volunteer motion and the intended motion of the muscle are monitored, and the signals will be given into this controller. The limitation of using this electromyogram is the muscle signal is a dynamic nature. That means the patient, one who is stable or sitting in a chair, even though he is stable, depends upon his mind pressure, the neuron signal. The pressure of the muscle will be varies, and eventually varies the signal strength of that EMG. So it is difficult for that system, hand system, to adapt to or take the decision what he was intended to do. So the electromyogram signal is used in existing exoskeletons. So researchers are going on to rectify these limitations. So to rectify the above said limitation, the neuromuscular controller is an effective thing. The neuromuscular controller is nothing but a controller which controls the system, the HAM system, human adaptive system, with the help of the signal received from the neuron of a particular patient, and it controls the muscle activity as well as the system exoskeleton system. So in simple means that exoskeleton using the EMG signal is subjected to more amount of error. The error means the possibility of error as well as the delay time. Response in delay time response is high. With the help of this neuromuscular controller, we can able to rectify those limitations. The proposed controller for this device needs to operate with the supervisory vector neural network. That is the algorithm used in this network to optimize the human adaptive mechatronic system. The algorithm produces the true positive rate and negative rate respectively. The feed-forward path requires the control signal to activate multiple actuation components in the adaptive mechatronic system. That is the predictive algorithm, similar to that of predictive algorithm. The similar thing is the neuromuscular controller can be adapted for different individual users. For example, to say that there are two or different multiple users are there. Each and every exoskeleton has to be tuned. The parameter has to be set according to the individual who is going to use that particular exoskeleton. So the neuromuscular system, the tuning and the altering can be carried out very easily in the neuromuscular controller, whereas the EMG signals are collected. That is the gross collection of signals from the set of muscles, and the filtering is not possible. The accurate filtering of EMG signal is not possible, even though there are more new technologies are there in filtering this collected amount of EMG signal. The EMG signal is somewhat subject to dynamic, and the instability of the EMG signal subject to reduced the efficiency of that system. The neuromuscular controller alters the command signal by monitoring the ground reaction force component. The ground GRF component is an important component while walking. The foot placed on the floor, there is a ground reaction force. That according to Newton's third law, the ground reaction force is the important criteria to be measured with the help of the neuromuscular controller to attain the stability of the user. The proposed model of HAM is shown here. The proposed model of HAM has a sensors connected over the muscle. Here the muscle is the upper limb muscle. The hand muscles are shown. The collected EMG signals are processed in a processor, that is a preprocessor, and the features are extracted info. The filtered signals are extracted info, and that will be given into the processor, that is a robotic system. The robotic system at the same time receives the command from the neuromuscular controller. The neuromuscular controller is shown here. That is the MLO, the modified line algorithm, line optimization algorithm is used in this neuromuscular controller, which senses the acceleration, torque, and speed of the muscle. The acceleration of the muscle, as well as the torque of the muscle, and the torque and the speed of that muscle are sensed, and that optimized output will be, reference signal will be given into the processor. The processor, with the help of this neuromuscular signal, it processed and give the output to the next, the SVNN section. That is the algorithm which has a set of preloaded data which analyzes the data, and the optimized output will be given in the trained database, and the testing and analysis can be carried out. The working of HAM. How the HAM works. So a person with disability is shown here. As I said earlier, the human adaptive mechatronic system is the combination of mechanical and electrical engineering. How? The electrical and electronics engineering uses the electrical engineering. From the electrical engineering, we use the motor, that is a servo motor or stepper motor are used in the human adaptive mechatronic system, and the electronics side, the processor as well as the filtering circuit and signal conditioners and sensors are used from the electronic engineering, and the mechanical engineering side, the spring link mechanism, the spring link mechanism, links and the gear ratios, gears are used, levers and gears are used as shown in this diagram. So the AMN, the artificial length, defines that the extension of that spring which is connected to this motor will be measured, and the GRF, that is the ground reaction force, will be measured, and that will be given to the switching conditions of HAM reference force, and the reference force which with regarding to the collected signal compares the signal with the reference signal, and the error signal will be produced and given into the switching conditions. The switching condition, the passive mode is normally closed. So after the error signal, the controller issues one command signal to operate that switch, to make that actuators, that is the end effector of the exoskeleton, to operate. The effect of perturbation force. The perturbation, what is the perturbation? The perturbation force is some force that is the instability caused apart from that Earth's gravitational pull. That is a perturbation force that may be caused due to the mass of that exoskeleton and some other criteria. So we have to concentrate on the effect of that perturbation force on the trainee, that is a disabled person who is in rehabilitation therapy, who is taking rehabilitation therapy. So the step angle and step heights are measured, as well as the degree of the perturbation force is measured, in which step angle and what is the height, the maximum amount of perturbation force, that is the instability of the patient occurs. So in order to rectify that one, the perturbation force is identified, and that will be given. The error signals will be programmed inside the neuromuscular controller. That neuromuscular controller somewhat reduces the signal strength and make the system stable in order to hold the patient steadily, to stand straight and to walk without any distractions or disturbance, instability. The exosuit model is shown here. The difference between the exoskeleton and exosuit is the exoskeleton is the traditional thing which has the liver and link mechanism. That is the hardware, most probably the hardware, which is the high mass, the high weight. But in the exoskeleton, the textile things can be used. The nylon clothing can be used, and the smooth sensor, nano sensors, as well as the MEMS, the micro electromechanical systems, are used in exosuits model. So these are all the things. The DF actuation and PF actuation, and the gyroscope is used. We know what is gyro. The gyroscope is used to give the ankle degree, to measure the ankle degree of the foot. So the foot cycle. The foot cycle is the important thing. Ground reaction force. With the help of this ground reaction force, the foot cycle, the first figure we can show is that similar to that of acceleration, and the next one is the swing motion, and the third step is the deacceleration or braking. So the ground reaction force gives the acceleration initially and the stability, that is swing force into stable force. That third step you can able to see the stable force, and then to take the next leg we have to deaccelerate that one. So that is shown in this one. This is the essential thing in designing the exoskeletons. The next one is signal characteristics of human adaptive system. What are all the signals used inside the exoskeletons and are characterized here? The monopolizing signal. The instant user may gain control over the system quite easily. This is the use of this monopolizing signal. And unrestrictive signal. The device does not interfere with other tasks that are carried out by the user. That is, the device does not interfere with some other electronic gadgets. So it prevents the device, the exoskeleton, from interference from noises, from other or disturbance from the other electronic devices. Observable. Every movement of the user is continuously noticeable and processed in the computer. And controllable. User can gain control over the device even in automated process. So this is the advantage of this, prime advantage of human adaptive technology. Attentive. The multimodal and multisensory inputs increase awareness of the dynamic signals and situations. Communicative. The data in the computer are communicated directly to other devices for better stabilization. So the technical challenges in designing this one, the HAM systems are the following are the important question to be addressed in order to do a prototype in this exoskeleton for rehabilitation therapy. How the controller used will compensate the natural delay of response from the user, that is a muscle response. Not all the users are having the same amount of muscle strength and energy. So how the controller used, that a neuromuscular controller will compensate the natural delay happens due to the response of the user. This is to be addressed. And how the system adapts itself to a different time scale between human and computer. The time scale, that is the delay time, how we can able to rectify the delay time between signal processing, and what methods are the best adapted to compensate the error signals on the sensor. This is the prime thing, how to eliminate the error from the collected signals of the sensors data, that is the EMG signal data. What are the best methods? There are so many methods available, and we have to utilize the best optimized method to reduce the error to the minimum level in order to get the best optimum output. Which algorithm are suitable for predicting the intended motion? And this is we have to choose the particular algorithm which suits that particular system, exoskeleton system, for the particular user with disability. Some user may have some other disability, single disability, and some other user may have 2 or more disabilities. We have to address that one with the help of this selection of algorithm. We'll address that one. how can adaptive mechatronic system controller adjust to the variety of dynamic behaviors of the person? Yeah, the dynamic, all the persons, the human beings are dynamic in nature. We can't be able to make them stable in thinking while in cognitive and in physical manner. The thinking, learning, and the physical therapies will give in dynamic nature. So the particular ham system has to adjust and control itself against the dynamic nature of the user. Can adaptive mechatronic system give a disabled person a precise assistance that frequently alter to user constraint changes and needs? This is the other question you have to need. And how much effort should be provided by the system to assist the flexion and extension of human user? That is the thing. The final question is how much effort should be provided by the system to assist the flexion and extension of human user in inclusion in the loop of adaptive mechatronic system. That is, how much force has to be created or generated by the user, the particular patient, in lifting his leg, or in spite of the additional mass of that human adaptive system, which is worn up around this waist. That is the exoskeleton or exosuit. With the help of this exosuit, he had to carry the additional weight also. So how much mass has to be, how much force has to be created, delivered? This is the important thing. And how the force, and how it adapts to the force generated. So the advantages of the ham systems are it reduce the user possibility to cope with the device. The user possibility to cope with the device is the important prime factor. All the equipments, that is the modern equipments in medical electronics, need some special training, and the skilled persons may take advantage over that equipment. So it reduces the possibility of coping with that particular device, the exoskeleton device. Whoever may be can easily adapt or cope with that particular exoskeleton device. So designing innovations made it flexible and adapting intended motion of the elderly or disabled person. And ease of interaction with the surrounding environment. That is, the interaction means they feel more comfortable while interacting with the environment, and they will have some relief of stress and some other the secondary injuries. The primary disability is their motor skill, disabled to move their organs, or maybe an upper limb or a lower limb. That may be a primary disability. In spite of this primary disability, the prolonged primary disability will lead to the mental pressure, and that may create some secondary injuries. So that will be addressed with the help of this exoskeleton. Ease of interaction with the surrounding environment, reducing the burden of caretaker. The caretaker, of course, the caretaker burden will be reduced progressively, and rejection of uncertainties rise in the sensor output. The uncertainties rise in the EMG sensor output will be reduced with the help of the neuromuscular controller used in this ham, the optimization, and that reduces the uncertainties and gives the optimal sensor output to the controller, and promotes the confidence and gives better quality of life for the user. Promotes the confidence of the user as well as it gives a better quality of life. And the limitations of this ham devices are the speed of operation, response time, and error rejection are the prime factor to be considered. That, as I said earlier, in the technology challenges, and the flexibility to communicate due to lack of processed error-free signals that are dynamic. As the EMG signal, the muscle motion is dynamic, even though the for example, hand is stable for a particular time period, the muscle strength of the hand will keeps on changing the generated amplitude signal of that EMG. That tends to make the changes in the processor. As the sensory signals are EMG in pattern, it changes that. So we have to address that one, the communication of error-free signal, and selection of suitable sensors. There are more number of sensors are available. With this particular suitable sensors has to be selected is difficult, and the algorithm which boosts the response time and reduce the error happens due to dynamic nature of that input from the user. This is the limitation. And decision making and learning are the basic skills of human, and it is continuous learning process throughout the life. So the user has to learn continuously about the working of that exoskeleton. The sudden changes in the muscle force may distract the operation of the system. Yeah, definitely this is the major limitation. The sudden change in muscle force will definitely distract the operation, and it halts the operation of the exoskeleton, to be said honestly. The perception of safety is crucially important, although the safety requirements are not framed yet. The safety requirement means that battery backup power and the waterproof technology, as well as the sensory electrodes are placed on the bare skin, the possibility of shock, electric shock, and other things has to be addressed. Application of exoskeleton. So the applications of exoskeleton and HAM, human adaptive mechatronics, are used in hospitals by the nurses, which makes them lift the patient effortlessly. And wearable robotic exoskeletons give factory workers a superhuman strength. That is, once the labor wears that exoskeleton suit or exoskeleton, he can able to lift a maximum of a maximum weight of 200 to 250 kilograms without affecting the strain or stress of his back. The industry started testing exoskeletons to increase the productivity of their warehouse employees while reducing muscle strain. So the industries in US, United States, started testing the exoskeletons to increase the productivity. That is, the employees who are transferring the things from the warehouse to the production area. Robotic exoskeletons are also used in clinical settings as a therapy tool. Exoskeleton suit is used by the military personnel in order to reduce the back strain and injury while carrying the loads. And future exoskeleton and robotic tools can be designed in such a way that better helps the people relying on them to walk again at reasonable cost. The prime limitation is that the cost of the exoskeleton suits are very high comparing to the automatic wheelchairs and some other bionic devices. And this is the thing of these are all the 4 major producers of exoskeletons. And Exo in US, they are most probably concentrated on the military army personnel, and the Cyberdyne in the German company, and it is also marketing in Japan. They are concentrating on medical rehabilitation therapy, and Exo Alert from Russia and the Israel's Rework. And these are all the few companies which are developing their products and waiting for approval to commercialize this product. And this is the reference. Thank you. The experimental detail. I carried out the experiment with the help of this MATLAB simulating library. With the help of the collected 50 EMG signals from the healthy human. And the intended muscle action on flexion and contraction were recorded in order to find the muscle force extracted and the angle of motion, as well as the torque required for the device to assist the person. And this is the bionic arm. I want to show this to you. Actually, video is not. So this is an adaptive device which is used by the Parkinson's disease, for a patient who is suffering by Parkinson's disease. Thank you.